Again, flows are business automated process only. They can be invoked and they can be scheduled at a scheduled interval of time to do a backend process. Else, the flow can also be invoked through as soon as there is a DML operation on the record. Okay. So for now, we'll be seeing a screen flows. If we can see a new, we have multiple, 5 different options. We can schedule it, we can auto launch, like it can be invoked by Apex and everything, and record changes any DML operations to the or platform events, any platform. For now, we'll be seeing screen flow and we'll go one by one. Screen flow, let's get inside. And we have 2 different layouts. One is freeform layout, one is auto layout. So auto layout is something like as soon as you pick the element, so it just creates a flowchart for you in the system defined way. But freeform is something where you can define where you need to keep your element. So I'll start with the freeform because auto layout is still in a beta version. They are not like complete. Again, if you want to switch, you can toggle here auto layout to a normal freeform. If it is disabled, then it is a freeform. If it is enabled, then it is a auto layout in a beta version.
Yeah.
So always the flow starts with start. That's like mandatory thing. And you can have 2 different things. Here we have different things. You can say screen, action, subflow. The screen is something where user will interact with the process, lightning flow, where they can put a user messages or like a user entries and it will capture. Other the same way, if anything comes in the output, you can define in a screen. The screen is something where user will gonna interact. Actions, we have a lot of actions if you want to send email or if you want to submit for approval or if you want to call any other Apex classes, and there are way out of actions we have available under action section. So if I go and open one action, let me drag and drop. You can see there are different things. We can call users, appointments, tasks, feed items and everything. And we can say category. There are 4 different types. One is core actions. Core actions are nothing but your add record, add member, change date, and the normal create new task, edit comments. These things as a core actions. Apex actions where you can invoke Apex classes, but we do not have any Apex class defined in a way which can be invoked by a lightning flow. The same way we have legacy, the same implementations we need to do. And if I have any email alerts, you can also do any email alerts. Like we have new account email alert. If you remember, we created one workflow. In that, we created one email alert. So this is picking that email alert.
Okay.
The same way we have subflow. Subflow in the sense you can define a multiple flows you can bind together. Let's say I have a big module. I cannot define everything in one flow. I need to build my flow is reusable component based. So what I do, I define my one more component which can be invocable. Which can be invocable. How does it work? Means as soon as I click subflow here, it asks me to reference the auto launch, like which flow I wanted to see. If you remember earlier when we are discussing about in last session we created account sample, right?
Yeah.
So you are calling this account sample from here. So what happens after this flow? It calls that component. So automatically it is calling another subflow to continue the implementation, right?
Mm.
And assignment is something like a value assignment. If let's imagine this user enters some input variables inside a screen, if those need to be assigned to an object, then assignment will gonna help you to bind your values to the real object. Assignment always a value binder, one variable, one value to another variable, or assigning a value to a variable. These things.
Okay.
This is kind of an equal operator. String s equal to username, that can be done only inside assignment. And by saying decision, you get to know decision always comes with the 2 outcomes. One is true, one is false, right?
Yeah.
But if you also think about this way, we have another if condition. If, else if, and if, right? Else, right? We have multiple conditions, right? else if also. So there can be more than one outcome, right?
Yeah.
And default outcome is something like whenever it goes wrong. I have one outcome. This is if condition. I can mention all my conditions and I can say what is outcome. I can create multiple outcomes. See, right? There are multiple outcomes I can create. I can, based on the outcome, I can call my another string. Okay.
Yeah.
And we have another thing called loop, as you know, because collection records, if you want to process records, more than one record, then we would be needed some iterations. That iterations will gonna consider through loops. Loop will help. It will iterate record by record, and we can able to process our data transformation within the iterations. Okay.
Hmm.
And collection sort, where you can manipulate your sorting of your collections by name itself would say. You can assign or descending or whatever you want to do, you can do with collection sort. These are the four logics we have, and we have data operations. We have DMLs: create, update, get, and delete. So create, update, and delete are DML operations. Get records, where you can write a select query. Select query in the sense you can pick the fields, whatever you needed, and you can query the data based on the where class you provided, and you can call from a account records. Clear?
Yeah.
Any questions on this?
No, they're clear.
Okay. So we'll try to create one simple workflow which I can create a simple account. So I'm dragging, dropping it, my screen, and I'm labeling my screen saying that new account details. New account details. This is my flow label, new account details, and here I'll be taking up text fields, and labeling I am doing is that account name, and default value I don't need to put any default value. So here you can see when to display this component. Always our condition met based on, we can discuss this more. Validate input, whatever the data I'm entering it, whether this is gonna match your actual expectation or something, data formats, or if the value is missing. Value in the missing in the sense, if the value is blank, then it will throw an error. Okay.
Okay.
And let's say phone. I'll say phone, and we have a patterns, placeholders, whatever. I'm not doing anything, but value is something you can create. What is this? Phone. To provide a default value, set the attribute to value. So user enters value, source elsewhere in your flow. Output in the variable. Okay, this is not needed. This set that. Let's connect a start to screen workflow. I created my screen workflow. Then what I need to do, I need to create one more object because I need to try to create. I'm trying to create this one, right? I'm trying to create what? Account record. So let me create one object manager, one record. So I can create my variables here, nothing but resources. In resources, I'll create one variable. That variable name I'll say account record is my variable name. Let's say account small, account record. Data type I'll select as a record. And I don't check this checkbox because I want to store only one record. And then I'll search for which object record it is. Okay, this is for account. Done. So I created my this one. So what I created? I created my resource. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Now what I need to do, I need to assign input values, right? I need to assign a input value. Okay. So now I'll take my assignment. I created already this is, let's say, account record field mappings. So I'm doing my maps. So I'll select my account record dot name equals account name. I'm mapping it, and the other one I'll pick like account record dot phone equals account phone dot value. So I need only value, right? So I'm just picking my value, and then I'll say done. I'll assign this. I'll assign this. And then what is needed? Then I need to do my DML operation. So I'll say create
Create
record.
record.
Insert account details. Account record. Then say, let's say account record creation. Say activate it, and you can click on debug, or you can click on run. Either thing is fine. Click on debug. And just ask latest version. I'm just picking. And I'll don't give my name and everything. Okay, let's say first I'll give Siva,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll go next. You can see the transaction history here, what is happening. So any record that you created was successful, and you got record Siva and phone null, and the records already created in the next screen. Okay, if you can go account, that record is logically created. But whatever we said, this is a vanilla type of thing. So if everything goes good, that is fine. What if some exception comes? We have Siva here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it just got created. Okay. But what if some exception comes? Let's say run again. I didn't provide my phone number. I said yes. And a unhandled exception, an unhandled fault error occurred while processing the record. Please contact the system administrator for row. So now what happened, if I go to Gmail, now we got error exception emails, right? This is not a right practice to implement, isn't it?
Yeah.
There is an error, required field missing. So I would be needed this message to be displayed. Instead of just saying flow exception comes, I need to display this. Then what we can do, let's go back and save as, because once activated, you can't change the anything inside that activated flow. So I'm creating as a new version, like a process builder.
Okay.
So I created, this is create records, is fine. And I'll say screen account record creation. Record save output text display text account record ID. account ID. I'm just saying some one screen and I'll tag it my screen records to screen. This is a vanilla type. What if there is an exception? I can drag another screen. I'll say on error load. So here I'll say display text and I'll say error occurred controlling and we have a concept of resource and if you can go to the flow actions flow and you have a fault message, there is a concept
Okay.
called fault message.
Mm-hmm.
Go here and I'm changing the color to show in a red color and I'll make bold, so then the fault message will show in a bold only. Okay, fault error. So now if I drag and drop, the outcome will be fault. See, because first
Okay.
it is giving vanilla and then because it is in a false transaction, then it will go to the false. I'm not defining anything. Here we do not have a capability that whether it is a fault or fail. So you need to drag possible outcome first and then you need to add to second outcome. Now if I want to remove, I can remove and I can delete it. Then the fault will stay back. See, even if I delete this, the fault will stay back.
Okay.
The first thing is important. Let's say if I want to drag both together, I can see both I can able to drag to the same thing. Even if it is success, even if it is false, if I want to go same place, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm going in two different directions. So when I'm going here, let's say activate debug. Got it. So if I don't give my account name is the required field which should throw an error. Next. Now you can see error occurred. This error occurs a flow of record type required field missing. Now we are getting exception, right? Earlier there is unhandled exception. You got an email also, right?
Yeah.
Now if I can see, this is flow element and we got like required field missing. You look at the values as a source, flow exception account, ID and interview. But if you can see earlier one, what happened? It was too much
Mm-hmm.
details, but it never showed any error. Right? In the error occurred, it is showing. But here you are seeing there is exception in the follow message and you are getting it. Right?
Yeah.
These messages you will get because these are exceptions coming and as a I'm the owner for the flow, I will be getting it. But at least I can able to handle my exception. I can display what user is expected here in this. Right? So we are
Mm.
not leaving the flow as a transactional incomplete. You can see transaction rolled back. Because of the error, the transaction is being rolled back. But here transaction is completed. So it means I handled my exception.
Yeah.
Clear?
Yeah.
Any questions in this? But if it is a realistic way, how can I make it as more uniqueness? Then let's go to the flow again. Uh, okay, here it is already closed. Let's go to setup, flows, close, close, close. We don't need it. Oh, setup, flow, close, record creation. So this is not a template. And now I'll say save as new flow and I'll select my screen and I'll make required. Got it?
Okay. Yeah.
Advanced system pattern read only required. global constant. We have a global constants here. Or account record global constant true. So if it is required, then it is true. So now what happens? Say activate. Okay. Now we can't go further without filling those details. This becomes, if I click next, then it will throw error saying that hey, this is required.
Okay, cool.
Let's go back, and how can I manage? Let's go to home page on this. Let's go to home. Let's edit the app because we don't have a home now. So let's say app manager. What is our app? Administration, right? Inside administration, I'll editing my app because I wanted to add a new tab now as a home tab.
Yeah.
You can add anywhere else, but I just wanted to add in a home section. So navigation items, and I need to look for home. I got my home. Let's add this as the first one. Save. Now let's go back to home page. Let's go to administration. Administration. Now we can see a home available. Yes. I'll edit this component page. I'll edit this page. Home page. Now in the home page, I wanted to add my flow. So come down. We have flows. Performance. We have a flow. Drag and drop this flow. And account record creation by default it is selecting, but again you can also select whichever flow you needed, but I'm selecting account record flow. If you want to modify, you can modify it. It's a single column layout or two columns layout. It's a single column layout. Or if I
Yeah.
say two column layouts, then the name field and phone field comes side by side, but I'm saying it's a single column. Okay.
Okay.
And you can set visibility. For now I'm not doing it. Save. It is asking for activation. Let's go for activation. We need to enable this home only for apps at a app default, assigned to apps. If it is administration, then only I need to show. If it is something else, I don't want to modify their home pages. I wanted to
Okay.
show this home only for administration app, inside administration app. Let's go to sales first. Let's go to sales. This is save. Okay. Whatever we have made, that is save. So you can see this is changes are saved and activation is already run. Let's go to sales. And in home, you don't have any difference, right? Your component is flow is not coming. But if I go to my administration, then I should get my flow now. You can see you got the flow, right?
Yeah.
So now this is how you can able to manage. This is how you can able to manage. Like you can create a multiple based on the user profiles. You can also change the home layout for them. Let's say if the marketer logs in, instead of doing assigning app default, you can assign at a profile level. You can assign it. Click on activation if you want to do so, and you can see app and profile name. For this app and which profile I need to enable this home. You can have a multiple home layouts can be defined for single application based on app and profile configurations. Okay,
Okay.
this is how you can customize homepage also. But here If I create my account, let's say I'm creating like a new sales rep and I'm passing my phone number 123456789 0. And I click
Mm-hmm.
next. Your account ID is created, right? There is account ID got created, and there is a limitations. As soon as I create any record, my expectation is need to navigate user to that account record. That's the right expectation that I can keep. But in Salesforce, Lightning Flow by default they are not capable enough to redirect user to the newly created accounts or
Oh,
records. So that where what we need to do, we need to call another lightning component. From there we need to redirect. So that is something is more complex at this point of time because we don't know Aura. We didn't discuss about development. So we'll continue this implementation scenario whenever we are dealing with Aura components.
yeah,
How can you got? So but account is technically created, new sales step C.
yeah.
Any questions on this?
No questions.
Yep. Let's say whenever I entered my account details, sales rep and everything, I need to give a checkbox to user. Let's say my expectation here. Okay, we have a flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just he entered phone number, account name and phone number, and there should be one checkbox saying that I wanted to provide extra information.
Okay.
If I check and click next, then it
Mm-hmm.
should call another flow which have account description in it.
Hmm.
Then after filling that account description, then only he can able to update the record. Until then, he shouldn't be updating the record.
Okay.
So what I'll do, I'll go quickly on setups, setups. I'll do quick changes, flows. I'll create a new flow, screen flow only. Again, I'm creating it and free from layout. You can see inside before coming here, I'll create one manager. I'll create one resource saying that variable and I'll say account record 2. Okay, account record. Okay, account record 2. This is a new resource. Earlier we used account record if you remember the other flow
Yeah.
because we'll be calling this from there. So I don't want to keep same names. You will get confused. So only I'm saying account record 2 and account record. Here I need to select my object name is account and I need to select this for available for input because I need to get a data from another flow
Okay.
available for input. Done. Now I'll go to my assignment. I'll go to my assignment. I'll say default values from previous flow. I'll say account to. Okay, anyway, this is an input field. You don't want to do anything. So what we can do, screen, I can see description of account and I'll say text, long text area, account description, account description and I'll say required only. Then start flow and I'll say wait account description. Let's go to manager account record to available for output. Also, I'm selecting it and I'll create and I'll do assignment field mapping, and I'll say account record 2 dot description equals account description, and I'll say account description save, and I'm activating this. Okay,
Okay.
let's go to flows again, to our previous flow. No, we didn't do anything. We created input output variable for account description. I'm going to account record creation again.
Yeah.
I'll save as a new version. Now here, instead of just creating a create record, so what I'll do, I'll check my decision. Let's say decision making. What I'm doing here, check user. Okay, before checking, let's go to users. Checkbox. I need to add checkbox. Do you want to add description? Do you want to add description? And if it is true, like do you want to add description, then this is my input. Now here I'm doing a decision. I'll do a decision saying that is description selected. And what is the outcome I'm saying? I'll say is description account field mapping. Do you want to add description equals true. This is my is description. Now here I'll do, instead of just doing directly, I'll call my assignment, and from here I'll call my outcome, which is default outcome. When it is there is no description, then the outcome is default. Okay.
Okay.
Now imagine what if I have a description. Let's say there is no in here.
This session you are recording, right, already?
Yes.
Okay.
It's confusing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to look out the recording. If I have it.
Now you can see now decision. So if it is not this, what is the default outcome? I need to call my action. I'll see, go to types. I'll say core actions, flow. Oh, sorry. Here category. Here we have a flows. We can call another flow. Call. Oh, sorry. And why I'm doing subflow. Account description is my subflow, and like saying call account description, and this is for don't include or include, manually assign variables. Account record variable I'm assigning to account record. See, you can see mapping is happening here, input, right?
Yeah.
So now when it is a false, when is description, I'm calling it, and again I need to call my assignment here. Again I need to call my account field map updates, account record equals enter value. Okay, I don't want to do that because that will return the values. If you can go here, store output values, account record, I'm storing to account record. So whatever the data input I have, don't include account record. So now here I'm passing my input variables that I'm assigning to account record 2 to account record to account record 2. And storing output values, I'm saying account record I'm including inside. I mean, whatever the return I am getting, I'm overriding to account record. Okay, that is what
Okay.
this means. Two things: input is assigned, and output is assigned now. You can see freeform is not looking so good, so I'm just assigning. So this is how we can see the flow, how it is rendering. You have a
Oh,
flow this way, right? So it
yeah.
is starting. Let's see. Now you can see it is started. It went to screen, and it is checking assignment, and then it is making a decision. Hey, whether this is checked or not, is description enabled. If it is description, we created another flow account description that is executing and coming to create records. Clear?
Yeah.
And I'm saving it. Activate. Now I don't want to do anything because I can refresh directly here because the flow is already added, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now we have checkbox. Let's say new marketer, new market, and I'll say my phone number 98765432111. Do you want to create a description? Yes. Next, it go into follow, and I'll say test description. Next, the flow record is created. Again, it came back to this place, right?
Yeah.
Now let's go and check that account ID. Do we have the description added or not? New market. In the account description, new market, inside details, we need to figure it out. Do we have a description in it? We have descriptions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm showing you the flow. This is how we created a flow now. We are making a decision. Based on the decision, we are going to subflow. We are assigning all our actions. So you can have a n number of steps. It's fine. But whatever the return you are getting, and you are creating records in one place only, right? So this way you are bypassing your multiple conditions at a different flows, and you are invoking whenever they needed to be invoked.
Okay. So here, why for the description, why we need like another flow? So for the
I
existing
just
flow.
wanted to show you an example. There is a